Hey everybody, welcome back to VGC Series 1, and today I want to talk about a trend I've noticed. Hold on, I didn't make my thing big enough. Give me 2 seconds. There we go. And that is that, like, at least for the teams that I've been playing, maybe it's just me, I don't know, but it feels like Terra Fire could be, like, the best Terra type right now. It's really interesting. And there's, like, defensive reasons for this mostly, but there are some offensive reasons. And I kind of just want to talk about it. Is that okay? Can we just talk about it? Just a heads up to y'all. At the time of this recording, I'm at 998 subscribers. I'm 2 away from 1,000, which just blows my mind. That's 2 people. I've gotten more subscribers than that on, like, a random Monday in the middle of, September. Thank you. Y'all are great. And there'll be a bigger thank you when I hit 1,000, obviously. But if you're watching this and I've already hit 1,000, whatever videos directly after this, just watch out, because I'm evolving into Gholdengo, obviously, at 1,000 subscribers. So if you're watching this and you're like, why didn't he evolve into Gholdengo? It's because I wasn't at 1,000 when I started recording this. I'm sorry. Anyway, there's kind of like 3 main Pokemon that are worth talking about here, for me anyway. And y'all might not agree with me, but for me, every time I see these Pokemon and I try to hit them for weakness or burn them or something, they're Terra Fire, and I get kind of mad. The first one is hydreigon. I've been playing a lot of a Gholdengo team. Spoilers, kinda, I guess, but I'm working on like a kind of like that low kicks team that I did with like the Dondozo and the Gholdengo core, but it doesn't have low kicks. I'm running like other stuff instead. But long story short, I'm playing a lot of Gholdengo. And obviously, Gholdengo is the #1 mon in usage, and it is the mon to beat. So everybody is finding funky ways to beat it. One of those ways is Terra Fire Hydreigon. Now, obviously, Terra Steel Hydreigon also resists Gholdengo, but Terra Steel Hydreigon doesn't beat Annihilate. So Terra Fire Hydreigon at least is not weak to Annihilate. You don't have any weaknesses that you had before. Yeah, the 3 most common types for Hydreigon are Poison, Steel, and Fire. And Fire is like the 2nd most common type. We can look at it here, actually. I have... Whoa, hey. Okay, we can look at it here. I have it pulled up, but I didn't know that they showed the Terra types here, which is really neat. Whoa, what? This is not Hydreigon, please. Thank you. It was showing me Armor Rouge. But yeah, you can see Steel's the most common type, Fire's the 2nd most common type, and Poison's the 3rd most common type. And, like, there's a huge difference between the Hydreigon in front of you being Terra Fire and Terra Steel. I've been running like Power Gem with my Gholdengo, so it's a huge difference for me. And sometimes it's in my best interest to just assume it's going to be Fire type and smack it with Power Gem. And if they don't terrestrialize in the situation, I look like an idiot. Or if they're Terra Steel, I look like an idiot, which is just crazy. It a little bit makes me kind of more interested in open team sheet, but that's a discussion for another day. So Hydreigon. Right now, like base Hydreigon, it's weak to Fairy. And that's really like the only weakness that's like you have to be scared of. Like obviously, you have other weaknesses, but the main one's Fairy, and then you're also weak to Ice. Snow is the thing right now. You switch to Fire type, you now resist Fairy, you now resist Ice. You drop your Fighting type weakness and your Dragon type weakness. Whatever. Hydreigon also gets Heat Wave, which is stab if you become Fire type. And you can't redirect to get around it, and it's probably gonna one-hit KO the Gholdengo in front of you. It's just super good. Terra Fire Hydreigon, I don't know. It's really annoying for me every time I played against it. Part of the reason I wanted to talk about all the Terra stuff, but why? I guess just like, why is Terra Fire so good? And for Hydreigon, you don't really get to see it. Like, one of the ways I was trying to counter Hydreigon was by putting a Play Rough user on my team. It just becomes Terra Fire, and they resist Play Rough anyway. Who cares? The next thing I want to talk about is Garchomp. Terra Fire Garchomp. Now it's not the most common Garchomp. It's the third most common Garchomp. But if you look at the list here, there's really only 3 types worth noting here. Obviously, Ground is the most common one. And that's just because you do so much damage with Terra, Ground, Earthquake, Garchomp, especially if you run like Swords Dance. But after Ground, and I feel like I never see Steel. I feel like this can't be right, is Fire. And obviously, I'm playing Gholdengo, and both Terra, Ground, and Terra Fire are very scary to me. I played a game the other day where I literally just went, all right, well, they're going to become Fire type. Don't know why I made that read. I made that read. They didn't terrestrialize at all, and the Power Gem did like 10%, and it was very embarrassing. But yeah, so Terra Fire Garchomp, you lose your weakness to Fairy. You lose your weakness to Ice. And that's the other reason why this was so relevant to me, because I was playing a Snow team, not too, you saw the Houndoom video, right? With the Houndoom Snow team. Every Garchomp that I faced while I was using that team was Terra Fire, and my Blizzard did no damage. Very embarrassing. Anyway, you lose your 4 times weakness to Ice, and you now resist Ice, which is very, very relevant. You resist Fairy now, and you can't be burned. So if you're running like a clear amulet and you become Fire type, well now you can't be burned and you can't be intimidated. And like any physical attacker, clear amulet plus Terra Fire is like a recipe for success. You literally your opponent becomes literally unable to lower your stats, which is very, very relevant. I think Garchomp gets Fire Fang, but I don't think they're really running it on Terra Fire Garchomp. I think the point of Terra Fire Garchomp is to become immune to burn and get some resistances. Sorry, it's like 6 a.m. recording a video before I have to go to work. You know how it is. And it's just scary. Like, honestly, like, if something with the teams that I have right now, if something that I'm counting on hitting for weakness turns Terra Fire in front of me, it's always bad, and I always have a bad time. So yeah, that's just, another Pokemon to talk about. The third one kind of occupies the same, like, space. Annihilape already has Defiant, so it really can't be intimidated. Like, you can lower its stats, but it's just going to get attack boosts, and you really don't want the Annihilape in front of you to be getting attack boosts. And then it terrestrializes to Fire type, so it can't be burned. I gotta say, like, on 2 of my teams, the ones that I've played the most recently, the only real, like, best way I have to deal with Annihilape is to burn it. And you can't burn Terra Fire Annihilape. And if we look, I believe that Fire is, in fact, the most common one. Yeah, it is the most common Terra type for Annihilape. Water's the second one. I don't really know what that's about. Maybe just for the Fire and Steel resist. But Fire, you get that immunity to burn, and I feel like you get a lot more mileage out of it. But not being weak to Garchomp maybe is a plus for the Water Terra. Yeah, and I mean, obviously Annihilape gets Fire Punch, but it's not doing this for offensive reasons. Like, people aren't running Fire Punch. At least I don't think people are running Fire Punch. Yeah, people aren't running Fire. It's not even, like, in the top 10 here. People aren't running Fire Punch on Annihilape. They just want to be immune to burn, and they want to lose their Fairy weakness and gain a Fairy resistance. And yeah, great for them. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like Terra Fire is just really, really good, especially for physical attackers and things that are weak to Fairy. Especially like, this is a weird one, but especially like Baxcalibur. Like, obviously you'll still have a weakness to Rock, which is a problem. Ice and Fire do have a weakness to Rock in common, but it's kind of hard to find a type that doesn't have a weakness in common with Ice type, to be completely honest with you. But Terra Fire Baxcalibur, like, you run a clear amulet, well, now you can't be burned. You are no longer weak to fighting, which you would still be weak to fighting if you went for Terra Steel, which is important because Annihilape, if we're looking here, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th in usage. It's a stupid good Pokemon. And now, you resist fire, so thermal exchange is better, and I don't know. I just wanted to talk about Terra Fire and why it's really good right now, especially on, like, physical attackers. physical attackers really, really like Terra Fire. Now, if you're like a bulky defensive Pokemon, I think Terra Water is probably better. They have you get very similar resistances. But you only have 2 weaknesses. You're only weak to Grass and Electric, and those are not very common, like, coverage moves right now. Like, obviously things want to Terra Grass to get, like, become Grass type, but they don't always run a Grass type move on those Pokemon. Like, Armarouge runs Energy Ball, and Cerulege runs Leaf Blade, but another thing that's really popular right now is Terra Grass Skeledirge, which is very scary because I have been playing a lot of Dondozo, and it's very hard for Dondozo to beat Terra Grass Skeledirge. Fun fact, because of Unaware and your Grass type and you have Slack Off, you really can never do enough damage to make a dent in Skeledirge. But that's a story for another day. So yeah, just keep that in mind, guys. So Dark is maybe the best type to already be, but Fire is maybe the best type to become, especially if you're a physical attacker that really doesn't want to get burned. Now, actually, I guess Excalibur is already immune to burn if you're running Thermal Exchange, so maybe this is a bad example. Maybe Water is the way to go for Excalibur or Steel, but that's just an example. It was a bad example, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. Maybe was kind of a little bit ranty, and I apologize. It's 6 a.m., and I wanted to make a video today before I went to work, so that's why it's kind of ranty. As always, everybody, if you like the video, leave me a like, please. I really appreciate it. Leave me a comment. Do you think that Fire is the best Terra type? Do you think it's only in like the top 3, like it is for Hydreigon and Garchomp? What do you think? What do you think the best Terra type is? What have you been using? But yeah, go ahead and subscribe. Like I said, at the time of this recording, we're 2 away from 1,000 subscribers. I'm absolutely like flabbergasted at how many subscribers that I've been gaining in such a short amount of time. And I really appreciate y'all. You guys rock. I love you guys. With that, everybody, my name is Andrew. I'll catch you guys next time.